Okay. तो इस क्वेश्चन को देख लेते हैं. The electronic configuration of 5 atoms are shown. Okay. Which electronic configuration represents each of the following description? Each electronic configuration may be used once, more than once, or not at all. A sodium atom. So you have to look into a periodic table for this. If you look into a periodic table, how many electrons are there in the sodium atom? 11. So if there are sodium atom, then it's have 11 electrons. So what will be its electronic configuration?
2, 8, and 1.
2, 8, 8, 1, right? So now look at these diagrams. Which one have this?
C.
Yeah. So the correct answer will be C. Is this clear? Then an atom of a reactive non-metallic element. So remember, when we talk about non-metallic elements are over here. Group 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. When we talk about 8, they are non-reactive as well. Okay, group 8 elements are non-reactive as well. So how we are able to figure out if the element is of group 8?
In its outermost shell, it will be stable. It will be 8.
If there will be 8 electrons in the outermost shell, it means it is in group 8. So if you look at E, there are 8 electrons in the outermost shell. So it is non-reactive. If you look at D, it have a 6 electrons in its outermost shell. So it is a reactive non-metal like oxygen because it's in group 6. So it's going to have a 6 electrons in its valence shell. Is this understandable? Okay.
Yes.
The correct answer will be D over here. An atom with a proton number of 12. If the proton number is 12, then how can we identify which atom it is?
There will be 12 electrons as well.
Yes, good, Khatija. We have discussed earlier that if it's an atom, so the number of protons and the number of electrons are going to be equal. So it means it must have a 12 electrons in it. So which one have a 12 electrons? Good. B. Yes, Sania, is this clear? Yes. Khatija?
Yes, sir.
An atom of a noble gas which is used to fill balloon. So if you look at noble gas is a group 8 elements. So this is a noble gas and this is a noble gas. Why it is a noble gas? Because in the first shell there is not a space for more than 2 electrons. So, and if you look over here, there are how many electrons for helium? 2. And helium is the gas which is used to fill the air balloons. So the correct answer for this one will be A. Okay. An atom which forms a noble gas electronic configuration with it gains 2 electrons. So can you tell me which atom is going to be when it gains 2 electrons? It have 8 electrons. It have a noble gas electronic configuration.
B.
D, right? Because see, in D there are how many electrons? 6 electrons are there, and if it gain 2 more, its outermost shell have 8 electrons. So D could be the answer. Is this clear?
Sir, I have a question.
Okay. Yes, just give me a minute.
Okay.
चल दूसरा वो लेवल पे एक स्टूडेंट प्लीज जाना लास्ट क्लास में भी नहीं आई ना जाना. Yes, Khatija, what is your question?
Yes, I was saying that in part 2, they have asked an atom of a reactive non-metallic element. So, okay, sorry, I understand. They have given reactive, sorry, sir.
Yeah, they have mentioned that it must be reactive. So A and B are the non-reactive ones because their outermost shell is full. Is this clear?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, Sania, can you tell me the answer of B1? Manahil, you do in your notebook, I will check. We did a lot of these kind of questions in our last class. What you did?
I just minus 37.
So do subtract again because your subtraction is wrong. The method is correct. We have to subtract these two to get the number of neutrons. So what we will get? We will get 20. Okay. 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 Now, Manahi, can you tell me this 18B1? What is meant by the term isotopes? The atoms having the same protons but different number of neutrons. Okay, now I want you guys to fill this quickly. So, atoms with same atomic number, which means number of proton, but different number of neutrons. Okay, let me ask you one by one. Sania, can you tell me what is the value that we are going to fill over here? Yes, Manahil. It will be 17 because it's an atom with a no charge. So the number of protons and the number of electrons are equal. So it will be 17. Okay. Khatija, can you tell me what we will fill over here that by looking at these values?
Yes, sir, give me a minute.
Yeah, sure.
Uh, 37 chlorine.
37.
The atomic mass will be 37 and the element itself will be chlorine.
What? Chlorine. Very good. Because if its atomic number is 17, then it means it's a chlorine. And see this value, we got it by adding this. So when we will add these two, we will get this value over here. Is this clear?
Yes.
Yes, periodic table is provided. Okay. Now, Sania, third one. The number of? Yeah. No, number of neutrons. That positive charge is indicating or the negative charge indicates the loss and the gain of electron, not neutrons. So what is the nucleon number? Nucleon number. 39? Yeah, 20. Good. So 39 minus 19, 20. Okay. Manahil, tell me the next one. Very good. How we will figure out? Because -1 is indicating one more electron. So we will subtract 1 from the number of electrons to get the protons. Okay. Here, Khatija, what will be the neutrons? In the second last row.
46.
81 minus 35 is going to be 40. Yeah, very good. 46. Now the proton number is 37 and the neutron number is 48. So if I add them, what I will get? 85, right?
Yes.
37 plus 48, 7 plus 8, 15. So 85. So it means here it is going to be 85, but we don't know the symbol. And its atomic number is 37. So we will see which one is 37. So 37 is rubidium, Rb. So we are going to put a symbol of Rb over here. Yes, is this clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now, identify the two atoms which are isotopes of each other, of the same element.
Chlorine.
Chlorine, here we go. So, why not potassium? Oh, sorry, why not bromine?
Because it's an ion and they have talked about atoms.
Yeah, very good. See, they have bold the atoms over here. So, they are talking about both the atoms. So, here there is no charge on these two, which means these two are atom. These two are also isotopes, but one is not an atom. So, we cannot consider bromine in this case. So, we will mention chlorine 35 and chlorine 37. Is this understandable? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So before atomic, did we talk about atoms, elements, and compounds? Or we just, after states of matter, we just atomic structure? Yes. Did we do this thing we discussed about elements or not?
No.
Yes, Khatija, you can check as well.
So I think we haven't debated.
Okay. Yes. You have this in your notebook. Yes, Khatija, you can check as well. Manal is saying that we did this.
Sir, I'm not having it, but maybe I attended that class because yeah, because one day I joined late now, so I think I missed
Okay,
this.
okay. Oh, there is a might be the possibility. Okay. You all are added in the group?
No.
Okay, okay. Okay, I will make sure that you will also be there in the group, Khatija. Okay, now the next thing
Okay.
that we are going to start is a chemical bond. So whenever we talk about bond, so bond means to connect or to join or to stick with each other. So when we talk about chemical bond, we always consider chemical bond as a force of attraction which can hold either atoms together or ions together or a molecule together in a substance or a material. Because when we look at any substance, we see as a whole, it means there are so many atoms or molecules or ions in it. So it also clearly indicate us that between those ions or between those atoms or between those molecules, there is a force of attraction which is holding them together. So that force of attraction is called chemical bond. Okay, is this clear? So
Yes.
most of the substances which are there have some kind of a chemical bond in it, with the exception of noble gases, which are group 8 elements. And we have already discussed that they are non-reactive because their outermost shell of the atoms of these elements are completely filled, so they do not bond. So beside this, everything or every element must bond with other element and exist as a some substance. Okay, so this is the next chapter that we are going to start. Okay, just complete this, then we will proceed further.
Sir?
बस मैं फिर तकरीबन ठीक है मैं फिर वो लगा से कुछ करूँ घंटे का बोल ठीक बस ठीक है मैं बता दूँ ठीक है चलो यस Katija.
Sir, I was asking that noble gases never react with any of the substance to form a chemical bonding, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So, and why these noble gases do not react? Okay, is everybody completed till here? Okay.
Yes.
The reason behind is this, that all these atoms exist as a monoatomic. Monoatomic means as a single atom, these elements exist, which means that they are not bonded. And the reason behind this is when we talk about this helium, it have a one shell, and that one shell have becomes its outer shell, and it have a two electrons, which means it have a duplet in its outermost shell, and there is no need of any other electron in that shell because it is already completely filled. So that's why it do not bond. When we talk about the rest of the noble gases, all of them have 8 electrons in their outermost shell, which means they have a octet in their outermost shell, and their outermost shell is also completely filled, so they also do not bond. Is this clear? Okay.
Yes.
So just note this down, that why, because these noble gases do not form bond.
सर ये जो नोबल गैसेस हैं ये तो रिएक्ट नहीं करेंगे, बट व्हाट अबाउट दोज एलिमेंट्स की जिनके आउटरमोस्ट शेल में लाइक 4 हो अगर?
So obviously all the other atoms will react and forms a bond in order to obtain a valence shell configuration like noble gases, or to complete their outermost shell completely filled, and for that they are going to bond. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. यहाँ तक क्लियर है? With
Yes.
confusion? Okay. तो अगर हम बाकी सारे एलिमेंट्स की बात करें जो पीरियोडिक टेबल में हैं, वो सब क्या करते हैं कि उनकी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन इन जैसी नहीं होती, यानी कि उनके ना आउटरमोस्ट शेल में, अगर उनके आउटरमोस्ट शेल पहला शेल है तो उसमें 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स नहीं होते, यानी कि कंप्लीटली फिल्ड नहीं होता, और अगर उनका आउटरमोस्ट शेल पहले शेल के अलावा कोई और शेल है तो उसमें पूरे 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स नहीं होते। ठीक है, तो इस वजह से वो क्या करते हैं, दे ऑल फॉर्म्स बॉन्ड, और बॉन्ड फॉर्म करने की वजह से वो स्टेबल होते हैं, और जब वो स्टेबल होते हैं या जब बॉन्ड फॉर्म करते हैं तो उनकी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन किसी भी एक नोबल गैस की इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन जैसी हो जाती है, यानी कि उनके भी आउटरमोस्ट शेल में बॉन्ड बन जाने के बाद क्या हो जाते हैं, 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हो जाते हैं, कंप्लीटली फिल्ड हो जाता है। ठीक है,
Yes.
electrons down. Yes, I mean. पाँच से 100 बच के में जी बिल्कुल दे दीजिएगा ताकि अगर सैटरडे सुबह पॉसिबिलिटी बनती है ना तो मैं निकाल के सर्विस करवा लूँ हाँ बिल्कुल ठीक अच्छा अच्छा एक और चीज जो है सेट नीचे से सिर्फ नीचे से ना एक जगह से लग रही थी हाँ तो जरा देख लीजिएगा फिर बताते हैं अगर उसके पास जाकर मैं करवा लेंगे ये फुटवेयर से फुटवेयर हाँ ये मुझसे ही वो नहीं मुझसे ही लगी थी मुझे पता ही नहीं चला वो साइड पे था इंक तो वो उसने पूरा उसको दबा दिया चल चल ठीक है और अगर कोई समझ में आए आपको उसको भेजना हो तो पिक्चर बना लीजिएगा या जो भी है देख लीजिएगा चल चल जज़ाक ओके ओके ये वाला पॉइंट आप सबको क्लियर हो गया
Yes.
अगर कंफ्यूजन है तो पूछ लें then Khatija, are you done?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when the atoms of these elements form chemical bond, there are different types of chemical bond they are going to form. Okay, so initially there are three kinds of chemical bonds that these elements form. One is a ionic bond, the other one is a covalent bond, and third one is a metallic bond. Okay, so when the covalent bond is when the ionic bond is formed, that due to the ionic bond, they are going to form a giant ionic structure or giant ionic lattice, and due to the formation of a ionic bond, they are going to form compounds only. Okay, when we talk about covalent bonding, due to the covalent bonding, some substances formed as a simple molecular structure and some substances formed as a giant molecular structure, giant covalent molecular structure. Okay, and in these, due to the covalent bonding, this covalent bonding is actually exists in elements as well as in compounds as well. Okay, then when we talk about metallic bonding, due to the metallic bonding, again there is a formation of a giant metallic lattice or giant metallic structure, and there are elements which form metallic bond, and there are mixtures where metallic bonding is observed. Okay, first note down till here, then we will discuss further. So before starting with the bonding, you must have an idea that molecules are only formed when which kind of bonding takes place. Only covalent bonding takes place, then the molecules are formed. Okay, there are molecular structure. But when there is a ionic bonding, no molecule is formed. There is going to be just a giant ionic lattice or giant ionic structure. In the similar way, when there is a metallic bonding, there is a giant ionic giant metallic lattice is formed, and molecules are only formed when there is a covalent bonding. Is this clear?
Yes.
Have you guys noted down this thing, the first thing, chemical bonding? Yes? Have you guys noted down this?
No, sir.
The is this readable?
Yes. Sir, done.
Okay. Okay. Yes, Sanya? Yeah, sure. Okay. So, if you see the compounds which are ionic, these are like the common one is the table salt that we have seen. Okay. Then there are elements and compounds due to covalent bonding. The elements are like bromine, sulfur, chlorine, the oxygen we inhale, and when we look at the compounds with a simple molecule and having a covalent bond are like carbon dioxide, which we exhale, the water which we use to drink, and the glucose. Okay. So see that when we observe our substances with a covalent bond, they have a simple molecule, their melting and boiling points are lower, and they are really gases or liquid at room temperature, except few. And if there is a solid, they have a low melting point. Like if you see glucose, if you heat it, it can readily melt. But when you take a stable salt and if you try to melt it, it doesn't melt that easily on heating, right? So this indicates that ionic compounds have a high melting point and covalent substances have a low melting point. The one with the simple molecules and the one with the giant molecules, we have two examples of elements. One is graphite and the other one is diamond, and both of which are actually two different forms of carbon. And the other one is a silica, that is a compound having a giant covalent structure, and it is found in sand. And normally it is used to prepare the glasses. Okay. And then when we talk about the metals, so every metal have a metallic bond in it. Like if I have a piece of aluminum or if I have a piece of iron, so they have a metallic bond in it. In the same way, there are alloys like stainless steel or brass or bronze. These are the alloys where we observe the metallic bonding. Is this clear?
Sir,
Yes, Khatija.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure. Do ask.
Uh, Above we are saying covalent bonding, they are the molecules, but below we are saying that they are the compound, and this compound is also written under the ionic bonding as well. So what is the difference between their compounds then?
See, the compounding ionic bond which have a covalent bond and simple molecule are the compounds like water, glucose, and carbon dioxide. So they have a different properties. So if you see carbon dioxide is a gas, if you look at water, water is a liquid, and if we see glucose, glucose is a solid, but it is a solid with a very low melting point. But when we talk about sodium chloride, right, it is a solid and it is a very high melting point. It do not usually melt on heating. So in the same way, the rest of the ionic compounds like copper to sulfate and ammonium chloride also have a high melting point. So there are different kinds of compounds which are formed by covalent bonding and by ionic bonding as well, but they do differ in the properties. Is this understandable?
Okay, sir, ionic bonds make the same types of compound like all, like if we talk about these three, so they all are solid in solid form.
Yeah, in ionic compound, we will going to discuss their properties as well. Whenever there is ionic bonding, all the compounds are solid at room temperature.
Okay.
Okay.
And sir, what are alloys?
Alloys are the mixtures, like stainless steel is an alloy, where two or more metals or a metal with a non-metal mix with each other, that are called alloys. Like stainless steel that we use in for cutlery is an alloy. The medals are made of brass and bronze, which are alloy. Alloy is the substance where we mix two or more metals.
Okay, both of them will be metals or one metal and one non-metal?
Mostly there are metals, but sometimes there is a metal and a non-metal.
Okay.
Okay. Any other question?
No.
Okay. So that is the introduction of a bonding. After this introduction, we are going to start ionic bonding at first. So we are just going to do the introduction of an ionic bonding. Okay. Today, and in our next class, we are going to continue with the ionic bonding. But before that, I want you guys to have a periodic table with you. Okay, just paste it at the end of your notebooks.
Okay.
Okay. So, ionic bond. So, the name is telling us that it is the bond which is going to exist between ions. And if you recall, we already studied or discussed that ions are the one which are either cations with a positive charge, which means they have a lesser electrons than protons, and the other one are anions, which are negatively charged, having a more electrons than the protons. Is this clear?
Yes.
Then,
Yes.
okay. Now, put a heading of a formation of cation. So cation means the ion with a positive charge, which is formed by the loss of electron. So the elements which are present in group 1 and group 2, and from group 3 except boron, the rest of the elements are going to form cations by using their electrons which are present in their outermost shell. Okay, so it means if we talk about group 1, how many electrons they have in their outermost shell?
One.
So they are all of them are going to lose one electron and going to possess a +1 charge. The elements in group 2 have a 2 electrons in their valence shell, so these all are going to lose 2 electrons and form a positive 2 charge ion. Beside boron, all of the group 3 elements are going to lose 3 electrons as their outermost shell have a 3 electron and get a +3 charge. Is this clear?
Yes.
This is the staircase. On the left side of the staircase, we have a metals, and it is the property of a metals, they always like to use their valence electron and form cation. Okay, so we will end today's class over here. You can leave Khatija if you have completed.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir.
Allah Hafiz. Have you done? Miss Sanya, how much is left? जी मैं शेयर करता हूँ